it's SimLicy here, so welcome to a very special video. Today I am announcing my collaboration with the Sims team on the upcoming expansion pack for The Sims 4. I, along with 3 other Simmers, were actually asked to build for the entire new world, so every lot that you see coming in the new expansion pack is built by me and them. I won't announce who they are or the builds that they did because I'll let them share their own excitement and their own involvement in this project, but it was honestly so much fun to do. They were so much fun to work with, and the Sim Gurus and everybody was like truly amazing, and this was honestly the best opportunity I could have ever imagined or asked for from the Sims team, and I feel really grateful and honored to have been a part of it, and I just really enjoyed the whole process. And so today I will be doing a little bit of a tour and give some background information on all 3 of the builds that I did for the expansion pack, but I do want to mention that I didn't record the whole process of me building the homes from start to finish. I decided to be a little bit selfish and keep that to myself and kind of alleviate some of the pressure by not recording everything. So hopefully you guys can forgive me or at least understand why I did that. And yeah, hopefully you guys are excited to see my builds and hopefully you're excited about the new expansion pack. So this is a new world coming with the expansion pack. It's called Mount Komorebi, and there are 3 different districts in this world and a total of 14 lots. So it's a pretty good size world. And the first district that you can see down here at the bottom of the map is more of a tranquil, quieter, kind of like peaceful area of the world, and I really like it. Unfortunately, I was not given the opportunity to build here. I will in the future though. I can't wait to actually have my hands on the completed expansion pack and be able to share speed builds with you guys. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm definitely really looking forward to build here because it's really pretty. But here in the center is the Old Town area. This area is a lot more like of actual town districts. There's a lot more buildings, a lot more things happening and different activities and stuff. And I built 2 of the buildings here. So I built a family home. I did not create the family or come up with their backstory, by the way. That was all done by the Sims team. I just built the house around their story and their idea that they had for the family living there. And then over here I built this bar. The bar was so much fun to do. It has such a cool style, and I really loved their like idea and inspiration for the bar, and I had so much fun kind of like taking off with that idea and coming up with something of my own. And then up here in the snowy region, this is the 3rd district. So this area is snowy all year round, and you don't need seasons to have the snow appear in your game. So if you decide to buy this expansion pack and you don't have seasons, the snow will still be there, and you can do the different snow activities, including the new activities like snowboarding and skiing, which is so cool. And this area again is so beautiful, and I just love the snow in The Sims. It's so pretty. But something you might notice about this area, and maybe you noticed it down here, that there are a couple of rental houses, and I got to build one of the rental homes. This is the one that I built here. And so this is the first world coming with The Sims 4 in any expansion or game pack where we can live and rent in the same world. So you can travel here on vacation if you decide to live in a different world and stay in one of these rental houses, or you could decide to live here too. So this is really cool. It's one of my favorite features coming in this expansion pack, because up until this point, we've only been able to rent homes in vacation worlds that are like vacation only worlds. And so I'm really happy that they decided to do a mixture of residential and rental homes. So it's really exciting. But either way, I think we should get on into touring my builds. So like I said, I did these 3, and I think we should start with the family home and then work our way up to the rental house. So here's the family home that I created for this expansion pack. It's a nice 2-story home with 3 bedrooms built for 4 Sims, so 2 parents and 2 kids. And I really love their home. I tried to build something that was traditional and modest, and I tried to make it look like it belongs and fits into the surrounding neighborhoods. And I really enjoyed building this house. It was so much fun. I love the personality of the family. They are a commuter family. They used to live in the city. The parents still work in the city, so they travel back and forth, but the father actually grew up here, and so they decided to move back to this world just to kind of get a slower pace on life and get back to nature and get back to their roots and that kind of stuff. And so I tried to represent that in their home and show their different personalities. But they're a very active family. They love going hiking and going and doing like the different snow activities and stuff while they're here. And so I tried to reflect that in the build, and something that I did is I put a few plant pots out here so you can do a little bit of gardening. You could plant some harvestables in there. And it doesn't really resemble hiking or snowboarding, but I thought it could show that they do like to be outside. And I also tried to give them a very like lush landscaping on their house, and this was honestly something I thought that I was going to have to delete because we did have certain requirements that we had to meet for lower end computers, like certain spec requirements and not using too many items. And so I thought when I originally placed all these plants that they were going to have me delete them, but thankfully I was able to keep them, so I'm really pleased with the landscaping. And then as for activities in the backyard, I tried to keep it pretty simple and not have anything too elaborate or fancy like a swimming pool or anything. So just a picnic bench and a couple of lounge chairs, and there's a barbecue over here so they can make some food outside. But moving on into the interior of the house, so up here on the second story, you can see the bedrooms. It is going to be pretty simply decorated compared to some of my other builds because this is a base game and the new expansion pack only build. All of these builds are, but also we had to keep in mind that there are spec requirements for low-end computers, so I couldn't clutter it up like crazy. And I also couldn't use any cheats, so no show hidden objects and no move objects, so everything is a bit different than I'm normally used to, but it was honestly such a fun change of pace and a fun challenge to make these homes. But here you can see the parents' bedroom, and I tried to just make it feel nice and cozy. I did give them a computer desk since they do work in the city. I thought that it'd be nice for them to have a space where they could get work done if they have to bring anything home with them. So I thought that was pretty nice to have right here in their bedroom. And then over here is the bathroom, and something I tried to do in each one of my builds. The only build that I couldn't achieve this in was the bar, just because it didn't quite work with the layout, at least in my opinion. But I wanted to have the toilet be in a separate room from the bathroom because that is something that is pretty traditional. And unfortunately, this door had to be moved outside. I did originally have it here on the interior of the bathroom, which I think looks a little bit better, but I think for like crowding and probably routing purposes, it got moved out here. So something to keep in mind, but I wanted to mention it because I do think the hallway looks a little bit awkward. But over here is the bedrooms. This bedroom is for the son of the family, and he honestly misses the city. He wishes that his family didn't leave the city. I think he misses everything about it. And so I tried to kind of represent that in his room by using this shelf with a car on it, because I think the car is like a city thing. I mean, it was the best thing that I could kind of think of. And so I gave him the shelf with the car toy on it, but he also loves to do art. So we got a new arts and crafts table for the Sims children, and I gave that to him in his room. And then other than that, I just used some like posters and stuff. I thought these kind of looked more edgy and city-like. Maybe it's his favorite show or something along those lines that remind him of being back in the city. So that's what I did for his room. And there's of course some other decorations that you can see are new with the expansion pack. And then over here is the sister's room of the household. She loves to snowboard like her mom, and so I decided to give her this new bed with the snowy swatch. I thought it was super cute, and she likes to be really active, so I included the soccer lamp and the soccer poster just to kind of show that she is more out and about and doing things, and she loves living here. She's like all about it. And then other than that, I just tried to make her room nice and cute and, you know, decorated in a way that I liked, and I think her room is just really adorable. And I also included the bonsai tree. I tried to do that in a couple of my builds because it's a base game activity that I think is really appropriate to have in these Japanese inspired homes. But down here on the first floor, you can see that I tried to include lower levels on the entryway of all of my builds. This one actually has 3 lower levels here at the entryway, also here at the back door, and the side door too. But you might notice there's something a bit different about how I was able to achieve this. So something that is coming with the update with this expansion pack is split level flooring. So here we can raise the platforms, and you can actually raise them to different heights. Might delete stuff because I don't have move objects on. If you do it more than one step, then you need to have stairs there. Mine was just one step, but you can really just like raise and lower them as much as you possibly can. I'm sure there's a limit, but I don't know what that is. But I really enjoyed using them. It's such a cool feature. It's honestly going to be so useful in almost every build that I do from now on. But either way, yeah, so I wanted to have the lower entryway and just like a nice place to take off your shoes, because that is another feature that is coming with this pack. Your Sims will actually take off their shoes or put on slippers when they come into their home, depending on how you set that. And I tried to make their house very simply decorated. Like I said, I wanted it to feel pretty quaint and modest. And yeah, over here there is a new dining table. So this dining table is called a kotatsu table. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, so forgive me, but this is a new table that is coming with this expansion pack. And we also got a hot pot so the families can sit here and have dinner together, and it has like this nice little like blanket that drapes over them, and this is also something that you would see in Japan, so it's really cool that it's coming with this expansion pack. But here you can see I used a platform to create this raised area by the window with some decorations on it. And then over here is the kitchen. The kitchen is nice and simply decorated. I mean, everywhere is, because like I said, I couldn't move objects or show hidden objects or anything, so, but I really love the way it turned out. I think it's actually really nicely decorated for having, you know, not all of the same options as I normally would have in building, and so I really like it. And you can see there's a new stove, which I adore. And then over here is a downstairs bathroom, again with the toilet separated, just to keep it a bit more traditional. And then over here next to the side door, I do have a pile of sports clutter, again trying to represent that the family likes to be outside and do like different activities and stuff. So I tried to represent that by including just a pile of different activities. But this is it for the family home. So it's nice and simple, and I think it's really adorable, and honestly, it was so much fun to build. I really love this house so much. But now I think we should move on to the bar. So here's the bar that I built for this expansion pack. The idea behind the bar was to build something that has been here a really long time. So I tried to show that by having two separate roofs, because I wanted it to feel like it maybe was two separate buildings originally, and now it's just one big bar. So that was kind of my idea for that, and so hopefully it comes across. But also the inspiration was to build something a little bit edgier and kind of punk. So you'll notice that the tables that I have tons of stickers all over them, and I use them both here on the exterior and the interior because I just love them so much. And I kind of also feel like it makes it feel like the bar's been here longer, because it's been here long enough for the tables to accumulate lots of stickers and for people to put them on there. I just love them. I think they're such a cool new item that are coming with this pack. And then also I used these really pretty decals with the tiger. I used one here on the front and the back of the build just because I love them so much. But I tried to just use different decorations that came with this pack to add as many details as I could, and also using the new platform to create this sidewalk around the building, which I really enjoy. And there's also a ton of posters that are coming with this pack, so I tried to clutter up the windows. There's some that are really appropriate for a community lot that have like little images of like food and advertisements, and so I used them as much as I could to make it feel like there was advertisements for different food options. And it was something I really enjoyed doing. Again, I looked at tons of references trying to get ideas and stuff to do for this bar, and I saw lots of things like this in the different pictures and stuff that I was looking at. But here on the second floor, you can see that there are some bathrooms. So like I mentioned, the floor plan just didn't quite work out to have the toilets separated, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal for the bar to have the toilets separated. So that's what I decided to do. I also used a lot of signs. This sign looks like it's in a weird location, so oops. But I tried to use a lot of signs kind of looking like they're recycled from the ski and snowboarding area as decoration in the bar, and I thought that was pretty cool. Over here, there's also a poker area, and I really enjoyed using the poker tables in this build because the poker tables are base game, but I thought it'd be a nice way to add extra activities in a bar lot location. Something that did have to be changed for routing purposes was having only one table in this room. Originally, I did have two tables and they were up against the windows. It's not that big of a deal, but it's something I thought I would mention in case you guys did want another table up here. But I still think it looks really good. There's also a TV. There's one downstairs too, because that is a requirement of bar lots. But I think you guys probably know how I feel about that. But down here on the first floor, you can see that there's more of these tables with the stickers. I love them. I honestly cannot get enough of them. I think they're so super cute. And then here on this little room, there's some more poker tables with another TV. And then I also used this sign both down here and upstairs. This is a new item coming with the pack, but I thought it could look like they're keeping maybe score of the poker games and maybe for like tournaments and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. And then over here is the actual bar area itself. So you can see that there is a new bar counter. There's tons of drinks over here because I was doing some play testing. So you won't see these in the expansion pack, but those are just left over from my Sims. And then there's a new bar back as well. And again, I was trying to use the new platforms to create kind of an interesting raised feature where the bar area is. And I absolutely love this. I tried to keep it kind of dark, so that's why there's not like a lot of overhead lighting. I thought that was kind of appropriate for this bar, and I think it just gives off a really nice vibe and atmosphere, and I think it's just a really cool build. So hopefully you guys will enjoy playing in it. But yeah, this is what I came up with for the bar lot in this expansion pack, and now we'll move on to the rental house. So here we are at the final build that I did for this project with the Sims team on this expansion, my rental house. This one was honestly the most difficult out of all of the builds that I did, because the other two came together so easily and so simply, and I really wasn't that indecisive, and they needed like minimal changes along the way. This one needed a lot more changes, and I was honestly so indecisive about almost every detail about this build, but I'm really pleased with the way it came together. And funny enough, I actually built something completely different to this. I built something that was really modern, and it looked so out of place in my opinion. It looked really strange. It didn't like blend into the world. It didn't blend into the surrounding buildings. Like, I was not pleased with it. And so the night before I was supposed to submit the first submission of the build, I bulldozed it and built something completely different. And I built this. It looked a little bit different then because as time went on and we got updates, we got different windows along the way. So it did look a little bit different, but I'm really happy that I decided just to bulldoze that build and start over from scratch, because it was not working for me and there was no way I was going to share it with the Sims team. So I thought that was kind of funny, but either way, this is the rental house, and then there's another little house over here. This little house, I was looking at Japanese tea houses for inspiration. I don't think it's that accurate to a Japanese tea house necessarily, especially the interior, but I was looking more at them for like the exterior inspiration, and so I think it looks really nice. And then for the interior, I decided to do something that was just kind of like a nice cozy place to hang out in the snow. So I'm using one of the new fireplaces and then a couple of couches, and it's just like a nice little place for your Sims to hang out and enjoy the wintry weather, and they can have like a cup of tea or something. So I thought that was super cute, and I think it kind of adds to the landscaping, because really the landscaping was a little bit difficult to do because it's always covered in snow like I mentioned. So I wasn't really sure what I should do to make the, I don't know, landscaping feel complete in a way. And so I tried to pick plants and flowers and stuff that look good covered in snow, and then I added these rocks around, which I think really add to the effect really nicely. And then I also did some terrain manipulation, and I think this worked really well in my favor because it makes the snow feel like deeper and fuller, like there's more of it accumulated on the ground, and it just makes it feel kind of just more snowy, which I think is really nice. And then other than that, I do have a couple of activities on the exterior, like a chess table, there's a barbecue and an outdoor dining table, and a couple of these new lights, which I love. I think these are so cute. But either way, yeah, this is the build, and I really like it. I really like it a lot. I think it's a super cute house, and I love the windows. I think the windows kind of make the build. But either way, moving on to the interior here on the second floor, there are 3 bedrooms. 2 of them do have double beds, so you can fit 6 Sims in this build, which I think is really nice. So you could have a pretty large family come here on vacation. And I tried to decorate them like a rental house would probably have their room. So there's not like a ton of decorations, but they still feel fully decorated, like they're not super empty, at least in my opinion. So I'm pretty happy with that. My favorite room out of all of them though is the kids' room, as it is usually in like every single build. But the reason I like this room so much is because I decided to use these new beds that have the skiing and snowboarding swatch on them. So I think it just kind of adds to the snowy area effect and being by the mountains. And then I also used these base game shelves. This I'm probably way too proud about, but I think they're just so perfect because they come in 2 different swatches with the mountains on them, and I think they're so cute. They're so appropriate for a kid's room, but they're also so appropriate for a snowy area, so I was really happy about that. And then over here is a nice little wall hanging. I'm not sure if I should call it a coat rack or not because there's no coat hanging from it, but it has the mountains and some like hiking gear hanging from it, so I thought that was pretty cute. And then here in the hallway there is a computer desk, so you could bring your like laptop or something along with you and have your Sims do some work if they need to. Maybe they're on like a really nice business trip. Like I feel like a company that would send you here would be pretty pretty nice to work for. But over here is the bathroom. Again, I have the toilet separate from the rest of the bathroom. And then down here on the first floor, I did the same thing where the toilet is separate from the rest of the bathroom. And then this area of the build is my favorite. I really like the way the downstairs decorations came together. I think it's really pretty, and out of all of the builds that I did, I think it's my best decorating. So I don't know if you guys will agree, but that's how I feel. But here by the entryway, I do have a lower area using the new platform tool just to have an area to take off your shoes. So I put a shoe rack here. And then I also did another step up into the dining room, which I was pretty happy about. I think that's kind of a nice effect. And then again, using this new dining table with the kind of blanket tablecloth, which I thought worked out pretty nicely in this room. This room is actually a really big process trying to decide what I should do with it. But I think having it be a dining room actually works pretty nicely, especially since you could have so many Sims stay in this build. And over here, I really was only able to fit 2 chairs. So it really wasn't kind of practical to only have this be the dining table. So it worked out really well. But over here is going to be the kitchen. I absolutely love the kitchen. It's my favorite part of like every build that I did because I really love these new counters. Each one of the counter variants have these open shelves, so you can actually clutter them up with different clutter items. There's a few extra clutter items that came with this expansion, like this nice stack of plates, which I absolutely adore. And then this little cluster of like canisters. I'm not really sure what they're called. Actually, I guess I could look. Tea cans, so they're little cans of tea. That's super cute, but you could definitely use those as decorations on the shelves. And then there's a new refrigerator, and this is like one of the most amazing decorations. I wish these items were separate. Like I would love to be able to use this teapot or this little jar thing. I would love to be able to use those as decoration, but I really like that a lot. And then over here is one of the new fireplaces with the dining table, like I mentioned, and then the living room area is over here. And I kind of wasn't sure if I should use a TV in this build because that's something I kind of debate with myself about using in rental houses, but this one I felt like it was appropriate because it feels more like a fancy rental house, so I thought it worked pretty nicely. But either way, this is it for my rental house and all of the builds that I did for this project. So hopefully you guys enjoyed looking at them and getting an overview and my thoughts and ideas on each one of the builds that I did. And hopefully you guys are looking forward to the new expansion pack coming out very soon. I actually don't know when the release is going to be, but it should be out very soon. But yeah, as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!